Hey everybody, welcome. It's our last stream of 2020 and gonna have some fun today with chat. Instead of doing the usual play against randos on Arena, I have gathered some willing volunteers from chat to join me on an mtgadraft.herokuapp.com draft, which is what we normally do around here, especially on Fridays, where we do the chat gauntlet. I'm taking tomorrow, Friday, off though, so we don't have a chat gauntlet this week. We didn't have one last week because I've taken back-to-back Fridays off. So we kind of have an impromptu gauntlet of sorts here, although we are going to play best of 3. And we are going to draft the Arena Cube. So this is going to be the same cube that's up on Arena right now that you can draft as well. However, we're going to draft it over on a third-party website made by our friend Senryoku, who has created this mtgadraft.herokuapp.com website that you can find a link to in the YouTube notes and in chat. And what we're going to do here is draft on this third-party website, export the results into Arena, and then use the friend challenge system to play the games out on Arena, using rules enforcement and all that good stuff. Nice thing about this over Arena Draft is really twofold, well, threefold. First, you get to choose who you play with. You get to play with people you know and like, so you get to play with friends instead of strangers. Second, it doesn't require gems or gold if you have a decent collection and or the wild cards to craft what you need to play with. And third, it's really the only way on Arena to draft and play in pod. We now have in pod drafting where we draft against 8 other humans, but then those 8 humans take their decks and go into the big pool of players and play whoever they find there from different pods. The true pure drafting experience is an 8-player draft in which you play against only the people in your pod. And it's especially the pure experience with Cube, where a fundamental aspect of Cube is that the cubes tend to only contain 1 copy of any given card. So most cube experiences, a traditional cube experience is when I have awesome card whatever, nobody else has it. It's the only copy of it. I'm the one who has this. It's a little bit weird on Arena that when I do cube and I have that supposed 1 copy of a card, I might face an opponent with a near mirror deck who might overlap me on 10 cards, and it's a little off-putting as far as what the true spirit of Cube, that one of spirit of Cube. And I love that when we do this, when we draft Cube together on MTGA Draft and then hop over, we preserve that. We preserve the one of mystique of the Cube experience, and it makes a difference to me, and it makes a difference in sideboarding. It makes a difference in terms of what you're playing around. It makes a difference in terms of how you draft, because suddenly cutting a great card from someone you know you're going to be playing is a little more valuable than cutting from some rando that you're very, very unlikely to play, right? So I get very excited to draft Cube on MTGA Draft for all of those extra awesome reasons, and I hope you do too. And there's a lot of extra awesome reasons to check out my sponsor, cardkingdom.com. You hear me talk about them all the time, whether it's the incredible buy list prices that nobody in the industry beats, the incredible turnaround on your orders. They'll show up on your door before you can believe it. The incredible inventory. They just have everything. Not everything. Like, nobody has everything. But if I had to put money on who had the most of Magic the Gathering covered in terms of their inventory, I would put my money on Card Kingdom. They just have all those bases covered. And whether you look into Battle Limited, play some constructed format, whether you're a Commander fan and are playing casually at your kitchen table, they can help you with all that stuff. So please be sure to check them out. And also remember my other sponsor, Spumoni Works. Our friend Oni Spumoni, who you see around lurking around this channel sometimes, is the designer of this channel. All of the graphic design here was done by Oni Spumoni. And if you want to check out Oni Spumoni's physical design chops, there's a lot of pins and other cool merch over at Spumoni Works. And if you use the Go Shopping discount code, you're not only going to get 15% off your purchase, you're going to sign Oni up for some graphic design work for me. So help me hire Oni and buy some cool pins from Spumoni Works with the Go Shopping code. Thanks everybody for checking out my sponsors, and thanks Oni and Card Kingdom for your support. Appreciate that a lot. Let's hop over now to old left monitor. We'll see what we got set up over here. I'm a little too far. Let's go. So we're gonna do best of 3. I'm gonna be playing Dr. Schnuffy, Dionysus, and Diphthemide, all for sure. And then we'll see if we have time for others. But basically, and we've got the, historic queue number 2 is all loaded up. Basically, I'm going to do a ready check here. 120-second clock is nice. So yeah, Hat, give us a ready check. And this is the final kind of launch, pre-launch check. Make sure that everybody who's agreed, who's jumped in this queue is actually at their computer and ready to do this thing. Missed the check, but ready. Okay. Oh, yeah, okay. Two didn't get a readies, but readies, and here we go. All right. Lot of red in here. No green. It's color. Oh, there's one green. Let's say color balancing is on. When color balancing is on, there ought to be one card of every color, and here we have our one green card at least. Ton of red. A ton of red, white. Almost makes me want to start with like a tutelage and corner the blue a little bit, or Ronus and corner the green a little bit. We're just overwhelmed by Mardu here. The Mardu is heavy in this pack. So we can also just embrace that. You can take something strong like History of Benalia and move into a white aggro. Basri Ket also can do that. Yeah, tutelage is a plan. You know, it's and it's certainly, again, it's a powerful card. It's in a color underrepresented in the pack, so we're not sending any bad signals downstream. Yeah, let's see. Target opponent. Well, this isn't self-mill. Tutelage is oppo-mill, right? I mean, let's try tutelage. That's the thing with Cube. You can take anything. It's all so powerful. So that's why I take into consideration things more like color density and downstream signals, because especially, again, playing in pod, it matters. And if we send a pack with 5 good red cards downstream, we have a good chance of hopefully putting some multiple drafters into red and then avoiding it. Although this is, of course, where we get like Embercleave in the next pack, take it, and then we're fighting with red too. But I do want to, you know, I think when you're drafting in pod like this, considering the signals you're sending downstream is not as incorrect as it can be in other situations. A lot of powerful stuff here, of course. I mean, it's Cube. I love Rashmi. This turn-by-turn card advantage on Rashmi is excellent. Niv Mizzet Reborn is a fun build around, but not something you'd have to take here. Like, you could almost plan to wheel it, take Lotus Cobra or something, and like take Rashmi and try to wheel this. Because the build around of Niv Mizzet Reborn is that you need a bunch of 2-color spells, right? And so things like Rashmi become really important. Once Upon a Time is strong too. And never hurts to go for the banned cards. I don't think Jinx is in the pod, so it could wheel. I am kind of on Rashmi for just power level. Awakening is cool too. It's powerful and a land. Enraptured is just generically good. I'm gonna take Rashmi. That was where I've been, my head was at anyway, and I mean, it's not that I'm gonna play it with tutelage. Maybe I take Cobra or something. I'm gonna take the most powerful card I see, which is Rashmi. That's true. Seize is interesting if we're gonna be drawing a lot. Also, Rashmi is green, and we didn't pass much green yet. I mean, we just passed Once Upon a Time and Lotus Cobra, but Ronus isn't that big a deal, so maybe we're cutting green successfully. Hedron Archive for Rampage. Realm Cloak Giant for some control. Resilient Kenra is a little more aggro than these two cards indicate. Night Veil Sprite is just a generically strong blue card in terms of setting up your game on turn 2. If this were our pack 1, pick one, what do I take? Like, Young Pyromancer is pretty good as a build around. I like that card a lot. I do like the Realm Cloaked as just a powerful control tool that you could start with. Again, just thinking in terms of that. Archive, it's open, but it's not open. Like, Archive doesn't go in every deck, right? Like, if we're playing aggro red or aggro white, we're not playing a Hedron Archive. It doesn't mean it's not a good pick. I just want to call out that colorless doesn't mean open, right? Colorless plus the job it does being generic. You know, like the job it's doing being wide is what makes a card open. Anyway, 22 seconds, got to figure this out. It's not a bad pick. I was on it earlier, but I kind of just want to take the Night Veil Sprite and continue taking blue cards and taking one that I really like casting early. Green Seeker is powerful card draw. Arowan Games is some Value Town. Botanical Sanctum, if we want to make sure we cast, if we want to do Night Veil Sprite and Rashmi, we could take the Sanctum and help with that. Yeah, Archive would have. I'm not denying that Archive is a totally reasonable and a fairly open keeping pick. I just like calling out. Some people approach all artifacts as keeping open when they don't necessarily. Core okay for fixing any slower deck. With Core, I want to be 3 or more colors. Like, I wouldn't put this in a 2-color deck, but once you're fixing for 3+, then sure. Green Seeker is really interesting here. And I'm tempted, but I'm going to take the Sanctum. I think mana is important. Fenner likes the Seeker. That was what it was between to me. Good mana or another great 2-drop. And green-blue is very rampy. So, like, having the Archive in place of the Sprite would be setting us up potentially for some green-blue ramp. Like a Hydra here. We got fixing here as well. Some Teamer fixing. Mikaeus is great in go wide tokens and counters. Like Conclave Mentor and Mikaeus have been pretty powerful for us. I think we just take Into the Royal here, though. Or the mana fixing. But Into the Royal is just generically good. Like, I mean, this is why, I mean, we take this highly in Zendikar draft, and I'm going to take it here because just that interaction at 2 mana, interact with anything without hexproof for 2 mana, and get a card out of it for an extra couple. It's just such a super flexible card. So we're going to take the Royalage. Might have to go rebuild some cafe. Let's see. We are... Schnuffy's passing to us, and we're going to be playing Schnuffy for sure. What do we got here? If we're sticking to Teamer, I mean, not Teamer, Simic, we've got Mammoth and Trickster, and to an extent, Dream Render. Like, if we want to do the tutelage thing, Ashiok does that. I suppose we can take Ashiok and see if the tutelage plan does still come together, because we don't need to play Rashmi. We could abandon Botanical Sanctum, Rashmi, and get back into effectively mono blue right now, and then see see if we want to be green or just work the mill plan. I think Ashiok is a great pickup here because it sets us up to continue down this path if the path seems open, or abandon if we decide that door is closing. Hinterland Harbor becomes another option for getting the green mana in easily. I think I kind of like Harbor for that. Inscription of Insight, also super reasonable. Buy some time. Witching Well is okay. Loxodon still being here hurts my soul. We're not really doing this thing, but Loxodon is something I'm willing to first pick. I think it's Insight or Harbor. We either shore up our colors, or I think Insight, while powerful, I think it's impossible. You know, Surion Point says Insight quite good. I agree. Inscription of Insight is quite good, but it is doing a bunch of replaceable things. And I would rather take the hard to come by rare dual lands and really shore up the possibility of Rashmi and green in general over something that's powerful but has replaceable effects. Fibblethip's a nice 2 here. Just slots in the curve, gets in the way, speed bump. Draw a card, speed bump is great. I like Castle too, but we're not that green. So easy Fibblethip here. And hey, we got sleeves chosen for Fibblethip, so maybe we'll make this the box art too. See if we can be all Fibblethip this draft. Good question, Big Scary Dave. I don't know offhand, but I'm sure there's got to be a website or some third-party site out there that has written that up, or maybe a Wizards article that has them. Essence Capture comes back. That, remember, was the only other blue card in the pack. We took Tutelage and passed Essence Capture as the only blue card. So, although it's funny, I was also considering taking History. There is a great mono white deck if somebody wants it. But I'm going to go ahead and take Essence Capture over anything else here. Also, just checking out some good red still left, but a lot of it's taken. I like that we got some early action. I mean, we can move into the Royal to the 4, but if we had to, we could play it on 2. I don't think there's any world in which we feel like we must into the Royal something on 2. Oh yeah, this is also kind of all of the blue. Like, we might be the only blue drafter at this point. Nah, that can't be true. Somebody out there is drafting blue. Kind of just like Enraptured or Geists. What do you think? Help me out, chat. I think all of these are playable. Seas just feels like the least relevant, you know, like if we're trying to win through milling out, I don't really care about making 8/8s. I'd rather just have earlier speed bumps. Yeah. Some people are liking the Seas because we're just going to be drawing, we're blue, but I like this as immediate early defense, whereas Seas feels a little less relevant, a little less vital. I'm going to take, well, this is where we can gack stuff because this is, we're playing in pod. I don't care about any of these cards for our deck. I care about not having stuff used against us. So like either hate drafting the Dire Fleet or some mana. None of this mana is matching our colors at all yet. I mean, we only have the 2, but yeah, we could let somebody have that. I guess I'll take the Pathway. I mean, I think you can make the case there of just hate drafting but we can take a pathway as some sort of potential. We're not really doing the slither bladey thing. I'd rather hate the Lamia or the Alseid, one of these two. I think I'll take the Alseid. The early stuff seems like the stuff we might, the strategies we might have the toughest time with. And like Elspeth, same thing. Although it seems like nobody's in mono white aggro or white aggro. Yeah, look at this. I'm gonna take one of the two cards that clearly nobody at this table wants. I'm gonna cut the pathway for right now. Witching Well last pick is a great sign for us. I still don't believe that we're like the only blue drafter, but we got to be like one of two, if any. Saheeli, can we make her work in what we're doing? We got Witching Well. We don't have many creatures. Let's take Illumination, I think. What do we got in green? Willow Haven. We can take Stonecoil Serpent is just big and playable. Lithoform Engine. Can we build around that? We can start copying effects, like copying tutelage and dream render effects. Stonecoil does provide us, again, defense everywhere on the curve. The reach is nice. Yeah, I'm with Crime Thought. Illumination is nice. We'll see how blue this table is, I guess. If we wheel Engine, I might give it a try, but I don't think we take it here. I like the Stonecoil as a sure playable, and then we'll see what wheels from that. Fanner doesn't love the Serpent in these decks. I don't know. I like some flexible defensive creature, and between protection from multicolored and reach, I think it really does that. Reconnaissance Mission is not really what we're about. So that's kind of sad. I was hoping for some blue hook up here, and we're really not getting it. We could take Expertise, but that's not doing the right thing either. This is just lousy. Yeah, eliminate. You got to start looking at possible other colors. If we don't, or we could end up 3-color, heavy blue, splash green, splash question mark. Yeah, we could take Rishkar, but I mean, I guess we have Sprite in these two. We are playing some creatures. It's not like this is going to be some creatureless deck, so we could take the Rishkar on that idea. But I think the eliminate idea is good. Yeah, I think dipping a toe towards black on a control spell, given the blue we have, makes some sense to me. Massacre Worm, also interesting, but yeah, eliminate, obviously less mana intensive. Well, Temple of Mystery would give us yet more blue-green, although I think now this wheels. I'm not sure anybody else is going to care about this. I'm thinking Gem Razor. There's that Embercleave that I hardly ever pass, but yeah, Stroke is a great card for Cube as well, but I kind of want a Gem Razor. Although, I guess we're not, we don't have a lot of targets necessarily to mutate on, but we do have Fibblethip and Night Veil Sprite. Like, geez, Night Veil Sprite, Gem Razor onto a Night Veil Sprite. Tomb, yeah, we could take the Tomb to help with the double splash we were talking about. I don't think I want Stroke here. I'm gonna feel like this will wheel. Maybe I'm wrong. $30 seconds. What is this? Which Karn is this? Reveal the top 2 cards of your library. Opponent. Oh, this is a pretty good Karn too. We can just take Karn. That was the other. This Karn is a little clunky against aggro, but we're playing best of 3. I think I'll take the Karn. Languish would be interesting for continuing towards a black control strategy. Essence Scatter, though, does that too. So does Icy. We saw how good Icy was last time. Even at 4 mana, it's so annoying. I think it's Icy or Essence with a nod at Languish. And I'm going to go Icy. I mean, there's a chance. Look, we wheeled Essence Capture, so maybe Essence Scatter wheels too. At least, clearly, Essence Scatter has a chance to wheel. I mean, the Essence Capture wheeled. It's double blue, so maybe that made it wheel. That was a little more wheelie than it would be otherwise. Helm of the Host, always interesting if you've got cool things to do, but we, again, are not really creature focused. We're kind of be more controlling. You take a Vraska, but we didn't add the black fixing yet. And if we were, like suddenly Overgrown Tomb doesn't help us because it can't provide both of the colors for the Vraska. So I don't like that. The blue is kind of drying up. I guess I just take the Nimble Obstructionist. Not exciting, but it's gonna it's just narrow. But when you pull something off, when you cycle it for effect, it's like, oh yeah, we got there. But 3/1 flying for 3 that can flash in as a floor is pretty good. It's not cube good though, right? Yeah, I suppose artifacts help with Karn token making. I just feel like I hardly ever do that with this card. Usually with Karn, I'm drawing unless desperate. Breeding Pool for more great fixing. But Thassa is like a plan. Hard to pass Thassa. I mean, we're not... Let's see, what is Thassa doing for us? It's got to be creature, so Illyrios is a good bounce. Fibblethip goes... Spell, so Fibblethip works. Fibblethip and Illyrios work. But there's not much else going on here. Right? Yeah, it feels like the adult pick is the land because Thassa isn't doing that much for us. But yeah, it taps. It does tap. It does have a tap ability. It ends up not doing that mode a ton, though, right? It's only pack 2. I'm gonna take Thassa because it's fun, and I want to try and pick up the tools to make that work. Jace, Wielder of Mysteries, does our thing. You can take that. This is Oppo Mill or Us Mill. C8 Restoration, also interesting. But let's take Jace. Let's do this thing. Yeah, we have time to build around Thassa, and if we fail, we'll cut Thassa. Might wheel those green-blue lands, and we still only have Rashmi as the green card we're even interested in, so that's the other reason picking up the fixing wasn't too important. We haven't really committed to green in any meaningful way. Thank you for the sub. Exclusion Mage makes me want to continue to not bother moving in on, just tempo. Vivian's pretty powerful, though. Vivian's a reason to commit more to green. Right? So we could stick with the blue or say Vivian is good enough to make a little more of a stand. An Exclusion Mage, I think I'm talking myself into Vivian here. I think Vivian's good enough. And look, Illumination came around, Marsh came around, and Lithoform Engine came around. So, like, we could take the Marsh, but again, I would rather have blue-black lands to try and support Eliminate than green-black. I think we just... it's also true that the Bounce Mage is good with Thassa, so that was a reason to take... Yeah, Engine is cute, but we could try it. I just feel like drawing cards might be... Yeah, just too good. This is cute. We're already doing some cute stuff. I'm going to take good over cute right now. Good and cute, of course, is also nice. I think taking Regisaur is good because there are going to be some decks that just roll over to this and we just bring it in and are like, turn 3 Regisaur, what are you going to do? I've been that deck that can't do anything about a turn 3 Regisaur. Pretty thick at 4 now. Yeah, the Worm was also reasonable to consider. I just didn't see a word. Like, I am digging that we're doing kind of Jace. Where is it? You know, we're kind of doing the mill thing. And gosh, maybe we are the only blue drafter. These were the only 2 blue cards in the pack, so take some card draw. But this is for us almost always going to be draw 2, discard 1. So we're going to take Stroke. The Wilt is interesting too. We got Vivian Reed. Yeah, I'm telling you, I mean, there's a reason we took the Icy is because Essence Scatter might wheel. We said it at the time. Now I'm feeling it's maybe like, and now I feel if it doesn't wheel, it's because somebody decided that there was nothing in the pack for them and they wanted to take it from us. Languish wheeling is super interesting. We're going to take that and have another card that could contribute to a black-blue control shell instead of here. Like, I'm going to put... here's our black considerations. Here's our green considerations. Yes, Ashiok has black mana symbols, but would go in any deck. Helm of the Host. Kind of like a Thassa Deep Dwelling. If we're playing Thassa, we probably like Helm. But... and I don't think we are going to play Vraska in this deck. So I'm going to take Helm. And probably not play it. Liliana is another reasonable black card. So yeah, maybe we're black now. You can put Regis. Oops, I was trying to go put Regisar in for consideration. Mazemind Tome is a great control card, but of course so is Ugin. Ugin's a long way off for us if we kind of go with the Ugin plan, but we are trying to go late into a game. Yeah, I bet we can wheel Thief, right? If people are barely interested in blue, I don't think they're going to be interested in blue-black. And Ugin... It's a hard card to pass, isn't it? We're going to take Ugin. Crime Thought likes the Tome. I'm with you. That Tome is so good. I'm just an Ugin junkie. The only thing we have to deal with Ugin is Disdainful Stroke and countering Ugin's -7 with Nimble Obstructionist. I was a designer on the set that Ugin was printed in. Almost want to gack this Thalia, but we'll be grown-ups. Can take Terramander. as a generic playable. Blood Artist and Dread Wanderer are not the black cards we're looking for. Bag of Holding could be reasonable. Bag of Holding, Terramander, or what? Or Cloud Blazer on the possible other splash? No, we're not blazing. On a Magic, a designer on a Magic set takes homework from the lead designer, goes to meetings, fills out a card set, designs Magic cards, and proposes them to the lead designer, who assembles a set out of the proposals from the designers working on the set. A lot of playtesting, a lot of drafting. Yeah, maybe it's bag. Gotta decide here. 40 seconds. I don't love any of these as a problem. Yeah, I'm gonna take bag. I don't love it, but we'll take it. It's another artifact if we play Karn. Solemn is interesting for marching forward. We got Krasis. Krasis is a fine reason to splash some green. We also might wheel the Krasis. Again, the table doesn't seem super interested in blue, and blue-green especially seems likely to wheel out of this booster. Although if someone is doing any kind of nonsense, they're gonna take this Krasis. Solemn is appealing, but we're really thick at 4. Carnarium would be an interesting 3 to just hone in on the black control side of what we're doing here. Yeah, that's true. We can't just count on wheeling everything green-blue, so that's kind of why I'm looking at the Krasis or even the Sailor. Not that Sailor's green-blue, but like... Sailor is nice. We'll wheel something out of this pack. Fenner says, don't fancy draft. Sure, but like Solemn isn't fancy drafting. Solemn is looking at synergies in our reality and saying it might even do more for our deck than a Krasis. But I'll take the Krasis. We're going to wheel something nice out of that, right? Florahedron for ramp, but Palladium Mirror ramps and ramps bigger and actually survives what we're ramping to. So we're going to grab Palladium Mirror here. I don't know if people like the Florahedron. Maybe we'll wheel that. Krasis also, or Palladium Mirror also nice with the Krasis, you know. Ramp that X up. Right now, I don't know for black yet. We have no fixing for it. That's my big concern. We got some powerful cards here, and the control shell certainly wouldn't mind getting in on these black spells that we have, but we're not deep in them, and we have no fixing, so let's keep that in mind. Yeah, you're right that the deck might not be green enough for Florahedron, but it can be played as a land, so I think maybe the answer is yes. It is green enough because you could play it as one of your sources of splash land. Beanstalk Giant also does the thing, but Mind Stone, as I think where we are at, or Neutralize or Mind Stone jump out at me here. The Temple of Deceit could help us play the black, but I don't think it's the priority here. I think I'm still leaning more towards the green anyway now with Krasis and Rashmi. But Mind Stone ramps to 4, where we're pretty thick. I'm going to take the Mind Stone. Mind Stone on 2 is exactly what our deck wants. Put Vivian back in here, 2 in this scenario. Imperious Perfect is like just ongoing value town. Tetsuko is part of the kind of aggro tempo blue that you can see in this format. We're just going to go with the Shark. Wouldn't mind a 2 though. We're still kind of low on 2s, but I'm taking Jaws here. Yeah, the Mind Stone is old school here on Heroku app on MTGA draft, but it will be its modern looking self once we get to client. Right now, I think we are cutting the black shell and embracing the green since we have the fixing for it and really a couple of good splashes. All right, we've got Tez or Oracle. Oracle really does the plan, though, right? If we do some we could do self-mill. I mean, Tutelage doesn't self-mill, but Oracle seems like fine. I mean, what else are we taking? A Finale or Tez, and Tez is a 5. Like we're okay on bigger stuff. I like another 2. Oh, Barons is a good point. I kind of blanked on even seeing the land, but we could absolutely take a Barons as somewhat of a alt win con. Might even wheel this Oracle. The table is not going to be too interested in it, but yeah, I'll risk it. I think Barons is good. Yeah, Hornet is not really us. I barely want to run Vivian Reed at green and might not. Hypnotic Sprite is a nice counterspell at 3, but Search on 2 is pretty good for us. Does some self-mill for if we do want to try and win via Jace, and taking Search. Oh, and maybe I miscounted and there was no wheeling from that pack. I thought that was a 10-card pack, but if it was 7, then of course we're not wheeling anything. Yeah, this is a powerful card, Search. I remember when this rotated out of Standard, I picked some up because it just felt like often cards take a little dip in value as they rotate, and then well, we did wheel the Thief, but we're no longer on the blue plan. We could take Secret Keeper as technically being part of the mill plan. We could take Prophetic Prism to help with the splash. I think it's Prism or Keeper. And I don't think Prism does enough, so we're going to take Keeper. Sorry, Thief. Nobody's playing you, I don't think. Nothing here for us. I guess a Savage Stomp is possible, but I don't think so. We'll keep it in the board. Well, Keeper does, if we are going to try and win by milling our opponents out, the Keeper does do something. what I'd like is a creature that ETB milled, and then you could do, then you can be blinking it for repeated effect. Well, here you go. This is the, we knew we were going to wheel something out of this pack. We can just take an opt to set up our turns. We can take a Supreme Will. I kind of like a Supreme Will. Wilderness Wreck, what is that doing for us, though? I think it's Sailor or Supreme Will. Don't have much counter magic, but Supreme Will loses its luster. I was going back and forth. I landed on Sailor. Dive down. We're not really trying to save much. We can take Warrant and have... Warrant is worth a sideboard slot at least. I've never taken Wilderness Wreck. I never know what to do with it. Temple of Deceit. You're too late to get us into that. Yeah, you can find little combos like that, I suppose. I just maybe I'm trying to put too much on it, and you don't need to build around it all that much for it to function. I mean, to me, Wilderness Wreck is about doubling up your mana for instants and instant speed effects. So I feel like you need a lot of those for me to be excited about it. And I don't feel like we have that here. I'm going to move our lands out for a moment just to see where we're at spell-wise. 27. I think this one probably wants 18 lands, so we need to cut 5. So then it's like, what is our main deck plan? And it's really just control, mill, and like maybe we're not doing the Thassa thing. We're pretty light on 2, but keep in mind we do have 4 1s, so our total 1 plus 2 is not bad. Yeah, we could. Speaking of, we can cut the bag though. I think that makes sense. Do we cut Sailor? I think we do cut Thassa. We didn't end up with enough going on here, although, yeah, because we can't blink a Great Shark at instant speed. Just too many blinking. There's not enough blinking that does anything for us. Okay, Jim, I'll take that into consideration here. So now we're close. 29, 4, 3, 2. Kind of want to cut. We cut Vivian Reed. Maybe I'll bring Vivian Reed in when we know she's going to be devastating against what Oppo is up to. So we can side that in, and then it reduces our green commitment significantly. Eternity's Crafter, I also like, when you're operating a little bit at instant speed, you get to potentially activate her twice when you cast something on your turn and their turn. So I continue to like trying to run her. Maybe we just cut Obstructionist until we know again that we're actually cycling to stop something mighty. And then down to 1 cut. I like keeping all of our mill stuff and making that how we're approaching our initial plan. That means just cutting. Yeah, people want to see the sprite go. Maybe I'm enamored with this sprite. I love how it sets up all your future. But I guess I can cut it. Something's got to go. But now we're really low on stuff to do. Like, this isn't a 2. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 things to do before turn 3. Like, our early game is a little suspect, and that's why I liked the sprite. We might get run over here, but I can try this. Do you think 2218 is correct? We could also go 2317, given that we have Mind Stone and Palladium Mirror and some card draw. Then we could bring back in a sprite just to give some early action. It's not like good early blocking action, though. We could put in... Yeah, we're not using really this on turn 2 either. I think we just export this, although no swamps, please. Yeah, that's true. Wilderness Wreck could be a little bit of a combo with Search. Oh yeah, we'll get non-basics, thanks. It's like, I thought our mana was better than this. It is better, don't worry, Ryan. All right. I feel like the sideboard mode is just, like, trolling me. Like, all right. Add that to the list of things I'd like to see improved. Not going to play black, so I'm not going to craft a Languish. Might obstruct, so we are going to craft that. Check that out. Playing Arena Cube, I needed to use 1 wild card. Miller time. Bad guys. Work on some names that have to do with being evil, milling, or otherwise. Control the mill. The old mill. Oh, we were also going to do Fibble Thippy stuff. $13, $14, $15 blue sources is still great. So 13, 14, 16, 17. Yeah, we'll call this good. Now let's see, it's 10:22. Yeah, I'll play Jim. Don't worry, everybody who said yes, I'll still play it. But if Jim can play right now, let me give him a start, and we'll still play everybody else too. What's your online name, Jim? Shadow Jim? Jim's going to start D, and not going to do a bracket, just going to play folks as available. Well, let me see if there's any other bling redeemed. Nope. Okay, fine. No, D. I order you not to do anything on your own. Thanks for checking, by the way. I really appreciate that you are running your life choices by me. No, of course, I mean, do what you will, D. I don't care. Just show up to play when it's your turn. That's my only that's the only thing that might interfere. If you start doing stuff on the side that interferes with getting people against me on stream, that's my only concern. But if you find somebody to battle with, great. Oh wait, here I'm gonna try my new feature. All right, here we go. Here's a new feature. Are you ready? Hold on. Hold on. All right. I've started a prediction. I don't know what it looks like for you all. How's that? Do you see a prediction? Anyway, this is this new thing they've got. Predictions. Hopefully you can, like, predict. I'm going to predict... Oh, wait. Did it not work? Oh, there we go. Definitely keeping that. I don't know how this thing works. I'm starting it, and you tell me how it works. I don't know. I'm making it up. Sorry, D. You can predict. On your own. I'm gonna graveyard that. We've got good mana going here. We don't need that. Ooh, I was gonna go Palladium Mirror, but there's something to be said for Ashiok on an empty board. Yeah, I'm gonna actually go Ashiok here.
Nightmares are the pure intellect.
Yeah, that's true. We got like there's reasons to self mill in this deck, and there's reasons to oppo mill. But since Plan A is kind of mill them out, I'm gonna focus on milling oppo, and I'm gonna continue to pass on lands since we've got a plentiful hand of lands. Again, I could Palladium Mirror, but it doesn't ramp us to anything right now, so I'd rather get Karn going.
Actions determine the course of history. The choices we make reveal who we are.
Know your history. Ooh, we'll put that on top of the library. Thank you. We could hold up Stroke. We could get Tutelage. I kind of like Mind Stone, Palladium Mirror, Construct, Karn. We can leave Stroke up, or we can double Artifact and make another artifact. I'm gonna go Shields down again, and just for 2 turns in a row, I'm not gonna worry about the Stroke, and I'm gonna go towards a massive Krasis.
Awaken.
Yipe! Well, Karn still is going to live through this. And we still get all of our ramp. No blocks this.
It is best if you stop.
We can do that and gets more artifacty for us. Do we want to do that now? We could even... I'm going to leave that on library. Sorian says ditch it. I also should be checking my count. Kind of like this with Karn going, but obviously we got a plus Karn here anyway. I'm going to start there. Well, I don't have to. I could minus and get... we could -1 and bring the tutelage. Is that what we want to be doing, though? Kind of just like +1... Although Benalia is going to make for good attacks on Karn even through a Krasis. At least one would get through to kill Karn. So that's a factor. Let's do a big Krasis first, actually, and see what we get out of that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're Xing for 6 here. I'm going to do that. See what we draw. Yeah, that's a good point. Karn is dead if Sovereign wants to attack, but then we have a 6/6 that could actually block the Sovereign. So now we can go Witching Well, look up the top, and maybe just give up Karn now and make another big guy. Scry those away. Yeah, you want to get tutelage? We could do that too. Sure, let's get tutelage.
This will aid us.
I like this because we get a card that's powerful for our deck, and it does leave Karn to say, well, if you want to get Karn, you still got to go after him. You can't do nothing. You got to send the Sovereign or whatever. Yikes! We still got blocks on the Sov. We got some challenges, but I think we're okay here. Just some challenges. Icy not great given the go wide nature of what Oppo is up to, and perhaps we need to be digging for Ugin more so than worrying about keeping an Icy. What do you think? Yeah. All right. Also, it gets us to flipping. Yeah, we can transform search, which we'll do. Ooh, 22. 20 tutelage. You can keep ditching lands. Illyrios is a good draw. This is kind of what I was hoping, in sense of just like speed bumps for aggro creatures, and we get to keep up Disdainful Stroke. So I'm going to cast Enraptured and hold up the stroke. This just makes blue, though. It's fine. Stroke's not going to get that. Really, Stroke doesn't get a lot of cards in this deck. We're probably taking Stroke out. Five, six, seven. This would be 8. So if we straight up draw Ugin, cashing in the Mind Stone would make it so we can't cast Ugin. Aerial Responder, also getting around the Stroke. So this is a tough one, because if I cash this in and find Ugin, then we can't cast Ugin, but then we can cast Illumination, and we should be able to cast Ugin before we're dead. Yeah, we could also just cycle. Let's cycle to draw a card, and then, yeah. We have a lot of draw. I'm just trying to draw. We also need to cast Ugin, though. We can't cast Ugin and draw, but cycling here seems fine. Ah, look at that. See, if I'd cracked Mind Stone, but now we're going to draw a land anyway? No? All right. Coming up us, though. This is perfect. We lose Witching Well and our own tutelage, but we gotta. Should win us the game. Oh, actually, we don't. We can -0 and then just leave. You just want to leave the responder? We could totally do that. And it's colorless, so it's not about artifacts, it's about colorless. I think you're right that we want to -0 or plus and kill the responder. Tell me what you think of that, and I will look for the, oh, that's right. That's true. I have so many memes that they don't fit on my buttons anymore. But
everything's coming up, Millhouse.
Sorry, Jim, if you come back to watch this, I wasn't slow rolling you. We were just trying to decide what we were doing with this Ugin before I even bothered casting it. Plus, I had a meme to play.
Silence.
Whoa, big mana from Jim. Bolt the Ugin. Nice, Jim. Love it. Come on. You gotta love that. Now, how do we win? Let's see, 12. So we're close to still milling them. Target player mills 2 cards, draw a card, then that will trigger that. So, and that's not enough to kill Jace. So let's play Jace out. And plus Fibblethip, sure, but no. Well, let's see, Fibblethip. Yeah, we can Fibblethip first. It doesn't matter too much, I don't think, but like I'm trying to figure out how sequencing matters there, but we'll do that. I think we're gonna want this mana up for the Stroke.
It's a matter of give and take.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Sorry, we had capture as well. So we got lucky, found an island, and we can capture. Didn't matter. I demoralized Jim into the scoop because everybody loves losing to Mill, right? Isn't it just everybody's favorite way to lose a Magic game? All right. Well, I think this Disdainful Stroke does not have much in the way of targets. We could play a Night Veil Sprite or a Fugitive. I think Night Veil Sprite can do some blocking here. What removal did we see? We saw the... Saw a lot of the deck here. I'm just wondering if that, yeah, if there's a reason to try to find big butts. Check with Dr. Schnuffy and the other two yeses, D, and figure out if anybody's got time pressure to keep in mind. Shark, I still want. It does counter creatures, and they're playing a lot of creatures, and it jumps in the way of some stuff. Yeah, the tokens don't mind the warrant. That's true. But it's almost like kill target token, which isn't really great for 2 mana. So I'm going to go to Sprite, actually. Was this at all useful? Activated or triggered ability we don't control. They did have Chandra. What's your point about Chandra, though, Scott? I'm going to go with this. All right, Ugin's a ways off, but I love our start. We're going to keep. I think we'll go with... well, Sailor probably gets picked off. We might want to wait on Sailor, but it's probably going to be our turn 2 play if not. So I might as well make it our turn 1 play and attack with it. Snap Dead. Ready for Snap Dead? Actually kind of like... Do I like both of these? Do we want both of these? Secret Keeper, Ashiok, Jace all work towards the plan. Night Veil, maybe Night Veil it would have been okay on curve, but now we're just gonna go with this plan. Yeah, I think this is fine. Comrade liked both. I was on the edge with kind of the turn 3, turn 4 Sprite situation. Here, I think we go with the Planeswalker while there's no pressure on him. Now, we've seen a lot of direct damage from Jim, so it's possible we minus and then Jim finishes off Ashiok with burn, but make him use up the burn and hopefully our other stuff lives. Okay, that's good. Like, what I didn't want is for Jim to have the answer already in hand to burn out Ashiok. So at least Jim's got to find something for Ashiok here on this main phase.
My hair is on... Oh, this is gonna hurt.
Essence Capture is going to be good here, and we're going to go with Merfolk Secret Keeper and cast it, and then have Essence Capture up with a Keeper out. Mana added. Well, looks like probably a burn spell that we won't be able to counter, but if for some reason Jim's going for a big creature here, we do have the Essence Capture, but Jim moving to the add to red makes me think that we're just going to lose Ashiok this turn. But again, we're just trying to overwhelm Jim's response ability. See what I did there on accident? Jim's ability to respond. We hope to run it out. So now we got a spot where if we do anything we have for 4 mana, we kind of lose. We can't do anything else. Meanwhile, Chandra, 4 damage to target creature. So Chandra could minus to deal damage to Secret Keeper, but then we're likely to be able to Jace. We can mill twice. Might just want to draw with Witching Well, though. Have we played a land this turn? I guess if we choose to draw with Witching Well, we can do that. The thing about waiting is that we get Essence Capture if we need it, and if not, we get to draw 2. And then, if that happens, we really should be able to Jace with Essence Capture up after that. And drawing 2 helps us get to Ugin, so I'm going to do that. This Chandra heading towards 7 is a big concern, though. Like, I don't know. I really hope that they cast a creature that we can put a counter on the Secret Keeper and attack Chandra down to below 7. Play Jace. Oh, for Mama. I thought you said for mana, and I couldn't figure out how to get mana out of Jace.
Today's my lucky day.
Ugh. Wrong creature. There we go. Thank you. Still have this 2/2 that's going to get in the way. So that's no good. Now we kind of need to... now I need to go for Jace, draw, and find the bounce spell we have.
We'll make this look
We did not find that, so now we're probably just dead. I don't know if we can... Well, maybe at 12 we have possibility of milling out. We'll try. That's kind of our plan now, but it doesn't look like a good one.
This is just gonna be bad for you.
victory. It's just an illusion.
5, 6. Well, we'll at least draw off the well. Not gonna make this one though. Because if Jim goes to face and doesn't kill us that turn, we get a chance to untap and try to mill him out. I think Jim controlling our mill elements was correct because we couldn't beat that. As long as he didn't deck, we could not beat that that emblem. So control the board so you don't lose to mill, right? That makes sense to me. Planeswalkers, always knew that was going to be trouble territory for us. We don't have a lot of attacking, and we don't have a lot of counter spells. So that really, Planeswalkers are just a big problem. And that's one reason to not mind the Sprite in the deck. At least it can attack Planeswalkers. Maybe bring in the Obstructionist for a similar Planeswalker control, it not only can cycle to counter some of the things the big Planeswalker does. Like if we had this for -7 Chandra, we would have won. I still don't think Stroke gets enough to bring in, but I like the idea of Obstructionist, maybe over the Sprite. What are we bringing in Stroke for? Chandra. We got 2 Chandras and a Captivating Crew. I guess there's some X spells that are strokeable. Yeah, Icy is probably the right cut. I like that. Maybe we bring in Stroke in, but again, I don't know. Stroke. It's got very narrow targets, but they are good ones. That's the problem. It's just we're going to hold it, and then when we finally resolve it, it ought to be good. But well, it's not big Chandra. It's not that Chandra, right? Both of the this was big Chandra. I was thinking this was a different Chandra than it was. So that can't even be countered. No, I thought it was two Chandras that weren't that Chandra. But I guess on the draw, I am more inclined to think Stroke is okay. CMC of X spells on the stack includes the X. Everywhere else it doesn't. But on the stack, it calculates the X in calculating the CMC. I don't know about that Windrake. There's a lot under. I don't know if it's under or over. I think Jim's deck has below average 4+ count, but that's just my read from where we're sitting here. I'm gonna keep this and start on the well. Look for some green for the Rashmi. But land number 4 plus Jace is certainly part of a plan. I think I'm going to keep all this. We can worry about Rashmi later. I like plan A stuff in hand. Doesn't leave us anything to do next turn, though, other than cycle Illumination. So maybe I should have thought of, like, you know, figure out something to do this turn. But the Jace felt too good, and we needed the land, so that was my thinking. Hieroglyphic Illumination at least puts a pause that it seems threatening. If something really good comes down right here that we could counter, although I have to think about what we even have that we could find. I guess I should have played Island, because then we could illuminate into the blue-blue counter. I was thinking I wanted to get Crawling Barrens, quote, going, but now I think less so. I'm going to go ahead and block. I mean, the Secret Keeper is here to block. Now, for max punishment, watch me draw the Essence Capture. I want to see the Essence Capture just to dagger my heart. Nope. Do you mind, Stone? Can play it and cash it in. We could Jace and lose Jace to Feather. Magnetic Channeler is good against Mill, not good against Ashiok, though. We could also Barons, but let's Mind Stone. Thank you for the sub. Might have to cash it in, though. Like, what are we doing here? Just gonna lose to Feather. But if we cash it in, we only end up with one blue anyway, and that so it doesn't really matter. Unless we get Spectral Sailor out of the deal. Oh, sure. Where is our stroke now? We even kept it in for just such an occasion. Got a little bug there. Jim might get us here. I don't know what we do about this aggression. Trying to figure out if we're supposed to cash this in or not, and if so, why, like what we're trying to hunt for, or whether we just need to have access to 6 mana, because if we draw blah, then having 6 mana is important. Let's look at the deck here. This matters. We have Great Shark, we've got Karn, Asha, nothing at 6 mana, so the ramp here isn't super relevant because Ugin's not going to be in time, so I am going to cash it in. And actually, we're not going to be Baroning this turn, so let's go ahead and Fibblethip off the Baron. Sailor provides something to do, but I don't know if it's good enough. I think I just want Palladium Mirror here instead. At least Palladium Mirror plus Fibblethip threatens a Channeler, an impactful Channeler block. I don't think our black is there. We have I guess maybe one land for fixing. I don't think we're going to side into black. Well, too fast for us. Well, when we were looking during deck building, I was saying that our low end looked like it made us vulnerable to aggro, and here we are hyper vulnerable to aggro. But look!
Your friend here is only mostly dead.
Not obstructing enough. Good job, Jim. Didn't have the deck to beat that. 4, 5, 6, 7, we're close. Ugin was the only real out, but we couldn't get there in time. So now I have to, like, resolve the voting, right? Where do I do that? Or resolve the outcome? Choose outcome. No. All right. Same prediction bet. This is against D. We don't know what D is playing yet. But hey D, what's your username? It doesn't look like we're friends. Well, what's your that doesn't help me. And I don't think I did. If I did, you deserved it. So I was right, you deserved it, is what we are agreeing. Yeah, Jim, I was hoping to win. So, you know, we all have our hopes, don't we? I'm kidding, I'm not salty at all. Besides, you beat evil. We're the mill deck. You gotta beat evil. Historically, friending somebody doesn't take until you restart. Can I add that to my list of things for WotC to fix? I think I already had that on my list. Fix your friend system, WotC. This is broken. This is busted and silly. Come on, we're now showing you is offline, D. You challenge me. Oh, because you're offline. It's actually correct. All right, let's see if we can take out D with our mill deck. It failed against aggro. But what is Dionysus up to? We can keep this. We don't stroke anything on 2, but I'm not going to throw this back. Uh-oh, he's playing my deck. I see keep ending up in white-green in this cube format. Or had a couple times in a row back at the beginning. Oh no, more aggro. That's trouble. Not gonna lie. Secret Keeper's nice. You're late, Secret Keeper, but not a bad pickup in that it will block the Vanguard, but I'm actually thinking, let me just go Enraptured here, or we can go Tutelage, and if I'm not gonna block, I should just play Tutelage. If I am gonna block, I should just do the Secret Keeper and then block with that. If we do that, we're mana inefficient, and then we're looking at 4 mana next turn. And what are we doing next turn with 4? Just one of our 3s again. So I like doing a 3 now. I'm gonna go ahead and take a punch from the Vanguard to get our Tutelage going. Next turn we can Raptured and Secret Keeper, or now we have a Into the Royal, so that's cool. Against this aggro, maybe we ditch the Stroke. There's green here, but I think we ditch the Stroke in that we're not going to have a lot of room for it coming up. We'll keep an eye out for things we would want to Stroke, though. I like having the Royal in hand. I think that's going to be good for us. It triggers the Tutelage. It's going to reset some... I mean, if the green-white theme is +1/+1 counters and tokens, so I think it also has a good chance of doing good work there. Thalia is super annoying for us, but we do have Enraptured and Spectral Sailor that we can cast here without violating the Thalia clause. The Reflection doesn't trade with either of these, but it does trade for life. We can block the Vanguard, but life doesn't matter. Like, it really doesn't trade with anything except preserving some of our life. And is that worth it? Prevent 3. Yeah, because then I want a 2/3, because a 2/3 can block Thalia, so we do want to trade off anyway. Like having the Sailor to threaten the Apparition. We can play this, and then we have a bunch of threats here. We have Great Shark threatening counter or draw off the Sailor, plus Into the Royal kicked for 5 mana. It's all available to us. So I'm just going to pass here with all of these options up. Well, both of these, the Sailor, Into the Royal, and Great Shark are all options for us here. I don't think Thalia is attacking if D doesn't have tricks, though, because Enraptured eats Thalia as well. Really, I just want to get a big blocker on the ground and one of Dionysus's next creature threats countered. That would be the dream for this turn. But if we can't live the dream, we'll Into the Royal something. Maybe Into the Royal Thalia at the end of the turn. When Thalia comes back down, we can Great Shark it. Definitely going to try for the Sailor block on the Apparition and make that a 1-for-1 trade. I could draw a card off of it before it dies. We'd be declining the Great Shark opportunity, though. So I am going to just accept the trade on the Sailor. It's also telegraphs for D a little bit. D knows that if I had nothing else to do, I would have drawn a card there. So now D's got to be aware. Branching Evolution is not something we can counter, so I'm probably just going to Into the Royal here. We'll do the Into the Royal on Thalia. I think that's right. Thalia over Vanguard. I kind of want to encourage a Thalia attack, though. Yeah, that's right. We're going to counter Thalia with Great Shark. I like it. Well, yeah, that's true. The Vanguard is worth countering, too, but Great Shark... If the Great Shark lives, we're going to be able to manage it. That was my thinking. And then I just didn't want the Thalia messing with my future spells. I guess we're having enough mana that maybe the Thalia tax isn't that big a deal now. But also, Secret Keeper blocks Vanguard. There was just a lot of reasons to not worry about that now. We could mill here, Jinx, but it would totally give away that we have the Great Shark going because we would not cast the Secret Keeper half. I'm just going to wait. And if D attacks before doing anything, I'm just going to take the 3, too. This is artifact or creature. Okay.
Together we are a crop, grow or wither as one. I will guard your advance.
And at 5/3, we go ahead and give up Illyrios, and then we drop Shark and take out Basri. I don't think I have the old Shark meme still installed. Let's see, are they anywhere? Vanguard's super annoying, but the Secret Keeper can take another one for the team there.
I failed you, Oketra.
I am that which nightmares themselves. This is my
Retreat and regroup.
If we can block the Vanguard with the Secret Keeper, we should be in good shape. If D can eliminate the Secret Keeper and take out Ashiok, might still be able to beat us with damage. CBL is notoriously persnickety. I've got actually 2 instances of it running. It might not know this format as well. I don't know. Yeah, I guess it doesn't show deck counts, but we're at 7 up there to our, we're 25 or whatever. It's a little behind the times on yard count, I guess. I'm also, maybe I should go. Could hop over here since we have a planeswalker out. Going straight for the face. So do we even block that? Yes. love to find a creature, something to further protect Ashiok. Fibblethip helps. And will help us with another tutelage as well. In fact, that might be just game. I think that's game because of the draw there. Yep. Sorry, D. I hate mill too. You can get me in the next 2, though, and justice will be served. So, kind of another aggro deck here. Didn't see a lot of great... I mean, there's Lyra. What else do we see as far as stroke targets? Loxodon, Vizier, Mikaeus with a big X. This, again, does not seem like a good stroke deck. So I'm going to pull the stroke. We could do Obstructionist again. Veil and Night Veil Sprite and Obstructionist were what I considered last time. There's the Warrant play. That's Warrant's a reasonable thing to do to like a Vanguard, especially with counters on it. Yeah, let's do Warrant this time. I think Warrant is appropriate here. Yeah, we were debating Jim. I took it out, then we brought it back in. It just felt like while I felt like your overall targets in quantity weren't significantly high, the quality of them was high enough to still keep it in. Yeah, I do like the ability to pressure Planeswalkers in the air with the Obstructionist. Planeswalkers are a real problem for our deck, because we don't have good creature pressure and we don't have good spell answers, either in counter spells or even in it's already on the battlefield spells. We've got like Into the Royal to interact with things that have landed, basically. All right, more lack of 2s, but more can't throw this back. Looks too good for the long game. But if the deck wanted to hook us up with a 2, would not complain. That's trouble because, well, good thing we have creatures. Like I say, it's trouble because it's going to make our stuff more expensive, but Palladium Mirror and Enraptured are things we can do in the face of a Thalia on 2 here. I'm going to roll out Illyrios. Again, chump once and then have a 2/3 that can block and kill Thalia. Okay, our creatures enter tapped, so that's unfortunate as well, but it's still our only choice here. We could go Palladium Mirror. Given that we can't block this turn anyway, maybe Palladium Mirror. And then what are we doing next turn, though? If everything comes into play tapped, we may just be screwed here. Like, we're going to be under a lot of pressure. And maybe we need to go Palladium Mirror so that we can get a big Krasis out in time to solve the problem. So I'm going to do that. Like, we can take 4 here plus 4 plus whatever else D plays, and we take 2 big smacks. But if we untap and Krasis for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, Krasis for 4, we make a 4/4 and draw and gain. Ah, Ryan plans D-laughs. So now I'm going to go Enraptured. So we can go for a 3/3 now. That's not big enough for this, though. Although I think we're just, like, I don't know how we win this one now. We're too far behind. I guess we need to find Into the Royal and kick it and reset some stuff here. So it's not game 3 yet. It's just close. I think we go... we can go Tutelage and Cycle. Jace isn't going to matter in this game. So yeah, we're looking for Into the Royal at this point. But we will chump here so that we can get our 2/3 untapped and at least threaten Thalia on the ground. And we can cycle this. Hey, it's our Into the Royal. Just talking about needing that. All in. Go all in on your Sunwing, D. All in on your Sunwing. Boo. That's not bad for us. Could even play it now and tap down the Sunwing. And then we have Sunwing. We can tap the Sunwing, block Thalia. I guess Heliod here is a couple of white pips away from attacking 2. Hey, David, thank you for the sub. Thank you for being a great member of our community, designing the cube we use often. Not today, I was saying I'm using the official Arena cube while it's available on the system. But yeah, I think we'll go, let's start manipulating. Maybe if it taps a land that... when it taps a permanent, the permanent becomes a snow permanent.
All right, everyone, chill.
Well, D's in the tank, so that's good for us. At least doesn't mean... well, like, I'm not expecting sudden pips. This is good, though. Means that Thalia has now got good attacks. We got to do this. Natch. So do we need to chump here is my question. If we take 5 and go to 2, we really set ourselves up to have a tough time of it next turn. Whereas we can leave 1 up for the manipulator and cast a Krasis that or maybe we into the Royal, the Sunwing. Into the Royal Sunwing, tap Thalia. Land, not the greatest for us. But we could also do big Krasis. Let's see, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we can Krasis for 4 and still manipulate. So we can Krasis for 4, go back to 6, have a 4/4 tapped, tap this, but then we're pretty up against it there. I think we need the Royal here. We're going to do into the Royal plus Manipulator as our survival plan. We had kick Royal Manipulate anyway, right? I mean, this is 5, 6. Like, we already had that. Maybe they had something else to do, but yes, they could have done this whole thing during their attacks and gotten in more damage. What are we bouncing? I think we're bouncing Goose or Sunwing, right? I guess we tap Thalia and bounce Sunwing. Alright, D got us here. Two aggro decks so far. Tough for Mill to beat aggro, but we're going to try. What do we need on the play? What else have we learned about Dionysus's deck? Again, just doesn't feel like it's doing enough in the 4+ camp for me to want to bring the stroke back in. But there's not much else we have. We could splash more for Vivian. We haven't really considered bringing Vivian in. This looks like a good Vivian matchup, actually. Maybe we bring in Vivian. And cut a Crawling Barrens and an island. To increase our forest count enough to justify that inclusion. And then we can cut... Oh, we also did talk about Obstructionist being reasonable. Warrant was one of the ones we added. I do like the Warrant in terms of resetting these creatures that are getting the +1/+1 counters. Maybe Sailor isn't doing enough here. It's chumping, but I don't like Sailor for... It's not drawing us cards the way we want. I don't know. Sailor seems very medium here. Unless there's like... Yeah, Search would be another one we could... Like if Sailor was actually block... Like, I guess it blocks and kills Apparition. Yeah, maybe Search is decent. Maybe Sprite comes in as a creature that does something, but again, let's try this. Let's try this. Okay, I like this. We get this into Mind Stone, probably into Ashiok or Illyrios, depending on what D comes up with here. But sometimes an Uber deck needs to understand how to cabs it to survive, you know? Mind Stone gives us a play next turn without a land, but sure would like to find a third land off the top. If no big pressure from D here, we're going to go Tutelage. Fledgling is pressure-y. We could go Fibblethip and look for a land, and if we don't find one, we at least get Secret Keeper. But Fibblethip after Tutelage triggers Tutelage, so I'm going to go Tutelage here. We also might find... oh yeah, that reminds me, we were playing against chat. I can enable emotes. But I like Tutelage here. We might find our land anyway. Hey, we did. Now we got choices, though. Can't cast the Krasis yet, but it's one of the better cards in our hand. Illyrios not doing a ton right now, but I think is good in the matchup. I think I'm going to be... Well, also, Flyers just really threaten our planeswalkers. But yeah, Krasis is slow, and we don't have the green yet, so I should be grown up and get rid of the powerful, but not for us right now, Krasis. And be happy we found a land, and we can play this Secret Keeper out. That's true. Krasis drawing some cards is nice, but it doesn't draw that many. When we do this for... If we cast this for an X of 4, you know, it costs us 6 mana, and we mill them... We draw 2 for, you know, it's some mill, but it's not crazy mill. I'm gonna go Fibblethip, looking for land again. If we don't find it, we've got nothing else to do. When we could go Karn instead, for example. We could go Karn, and often you get given a land when you go Karn, but then Karn's probably dead, just to these two. Prevents some damage, though. I think I'm going to go with the Fibblethip line, see if we can find a land. No land, but Icy will help us control eventually. Well, Karn, if you do plus, it does draw cards. Oh, I see what you mean. It doesn't trigger tutelage. Yes. I just thought you were talking about whether or not we could acquire additional cards with Karn. We can acquire additional cards with Karn, but they do not trigger tutelage, yes. I thought you might have been misinterpreting which Karn this is, because there's a bunch of Karns that look roughly similar. Is D out of lands, or just hasn't played it yet? I'm just wondering why this Fledgling isn't flying yet. Ah, there we go. Now that's why, because Fledgling will get a couple of counters here. Nice, D. Land us, please. Then we can manipulate. That's rough. Well, drawing 2, at least maybe we can get there on card draw, but we gotta try and draw 2 now. If we cycle it, though, let's say we cycle it. What are we cycling it for? So that we can play the manipulator now? We still don't end up with the ability to actually stop it. I like Illumination Draw, like Ashiok. Yeah, I guess we can cycle an Ashiok and then force some attention on Ashiok. That might be enough. Like, we just need to get 19 cards milled before we're dead. But a speed bump is kind of what we need. All right, I'll cycle because then we know that we have multiple things we can do after cycling. I don't know if D can. Let's see if D's willing to ignore this Ashiok.
Behold,
13 in the face of a tutelage and other mill effects means that I don't think he can ignore the Dream Render here. And hey, sometimes maybe D's out of land. You never know. It could happen. I'm not even going to bother. I could attack with Fibblethip, but what's the point? Yep, we can draw off Mind Stone for a tutelage pull. I think D will go after Ashiok. I think that's scary enough at a 12-card library against Mill. And really, we can do that on untap. Mill 4, Mill 2 on the draw a card, and draw a card off Mind Stone and Mill. Like they're at a virtual 4. D's at a virtual 4 in library right now. If D's out of land, we're in a decent shape. If D has lands, though, this Fledgling just being a extra attacker, extra powerful attacker every turn is real tough. But I think D has to go for Ashiok, so that's good for us. And it has to go with the Fledgling. And then we get Manipulator down if we find a land, and then can handle the Fledgling. So this is borderline, but we're hanging in here. Certainly, if we'd found some land by now, I think D would actually be in trouble. D's gotten lucky that we've been a little bit tight on land. So D going to face, putting us to the finding a land. We get Manipulator, we're still okay. This probably means D has lands in hand, because that means he knows that he can come back with the Fledgling again next turn. All right, there is an important land, and now we can manipulate. Oh, except it's not the right land. Dang it. So now we're just dead because we didn't draw the right land. Unfortunate. Yeah, I guess we gotta go Mind Stone for Into the Royal. Too bad, gang. Frustrating, because we're just the wrong land away. If we find the right land, we manipulate here and we're fine and win. Wrong land. I should have been more specific. The magic god's punished. I mean, I could scoop. There's no way D's not attacking with his bird. How do I win there? Well, if I find a land, we manipulate and tap the Fledgling, and then we only take Sunwing damage. I guess then Mikaeus kills with the Sunwing, huh? Got it. Can't win today. Now, let's see if D can keep himself from being muted. I should do a new... Good game, D. Frustrating, though. Got mana screwed and could not do what I needed to do. Loved our hand, got stuck on mana, and it all fell apart. Speaking of all falling apart, this is not a keepable hand. This is barely better, but we'll keep it. There is a time... You can do timed runtimed in challenge mode. You just have to choose the right mode. You can cycle through it. Land and icy. I don't know what we're up against yet, but I kind of like the icy, and we kind of need land. I'm just going to keep it all. Although we maybe don't need land with the Palladium Mirror. I could probably risk dropping the land. It's a little greedy. We have 3 for sure and turns to draw more. Probably being greedy. I'll just keep it. That's a nice New Year's gift. Thanks, D. Throwing some subs around. Wow, we are playing the mill deck and have faced nothing but aggro so far. Nothing but jerks around here. I could have captured that. I'm just distracted. I'm going to ditch the island since I thought I might not need it anyway. We can also save the capture to try to get Croxa coming back out, which is kind of the more important place anyway. You're welcome, D. Thanks for hanging. Kind of like just holding up everything, not playing the manipulator here, and holding up stroke and capture and well. And on this front, I think we just had to give up Palladium Mirror. And what is more important to trade for? Probably the Kenra, actually. This requires mana to pump, and without another creature, it doesn't do much. Let's do this. And then cash in a Witching Well. And then we still have the counter. Not that they can do anything here, but if they went land creature, we could Essence Capture. Now we'll go Manipulator and could even start tapping down mana. I mean, we could take tap down the Mountain. Banneret should only hit for 1. Is that better than just giving them access to full mana? What do you like? You also just Sailor. Sailor trade. That's not the worst either. But I think Sailor could get us cards here. Let's port them. I like it. Let's do this. I guess they can pump in response, but then if they draw something, they don't get to cast. Maybe that's a reason not to do it, though, Jim. Like, they just get to do that in response. It does tap them out for the turn, though. Maybe I'll do it again next time. We'll do it again, but I'll use the Sailor to block. I gotta play it first. I'll redeem it when I play it, Mama. So same thing, same question again. 5 with 6 mana. Yeah, I like same play. Make him do it again. This time we'll draw a card and trade. Yeah, I know. They pump. We figured that out last time. But if they pump, they're using up their turn on it, and we actually have the play for this time. This time we got the right play for the job. I should have blocked before drawing a card. I'm just trying to do too many things at once. But there's no reason to give a window for Dr. Snuffy to remove my blocker there. So the correct play is block, then draw the card, just to clarify. I think maybe only I can start it, but I think you can end it. I don't know. Look into it. Maybe we can figure it out. All right, now we're looking close to dead on just damage here, but we're not dead yet, as they say. 5, 6, 7, 6 to manipulate, giving us 6 mana. We're going to go tutelage. We might need stroke and essence capture, though. Maybe we need to go Secret Keeper and make a blocker. Let's do that. Because now we can manipulate, and we have a blocker, and we have 2 counters available. Gonna leave the mana now, and almost encourage, like, I want to counter the Croxa, and we have the tools to do that here. Yeah, happens. Yep, dead. Here you go, Mama. I mean, I drafted a medium control deck and have faced nothing but aggro. This is not the best day for this deck, I gotta tell you. Like, this has been the worst Disdainful Stroke ever. Like, ever. All Disdainful Stroke has done is look at me disdainfully as it is unable to do anything against anything anybody is doing ever. So go away. And I continue, I don't know, Sailor is just like... 1/3 doesn't... I know the 1/3 is doing some blocking against Pyromancers or whatnot. Maybe a 1/3 blocks well enough here, I guess. Yeah, I suppose. I really don't like it, but it is doing a reasonable job in this matchup. Maybe better than... Yeah, over what is the next question? Might be Witching Well. Witching Well is pretty clunky here. The artifact stuff doesn't matter. I don't know, you take out a mill card and then, I don't know, you're just hurting your core strategy. I can't bail on mill entirely, so... I hear what you're saying. If it was because I was including something that actually did a job that I thought was super important and like, I don't think we're accomplishing much by cutting it is the thing. Like, I didn't see something to bring in that I thought was like, that improves things so much. Let's cut a mill card to do it. Sailor, you're late. Could even go Fibblethip. Or Sailor first, Fibblethip later to trigger the tutelage once more. I mean, every mill counts, and we do have another play here. All right, I'm gonna Sailor this time. Well, Perilous Mirror might end up killing the Sailor, but I'm still gonna play it out. There's some toots here. And I'm gonna get rid of Karn. We get rid of Jace. What do you think, Karn or Jace? Ashiok seems better. Karn might be enough good action to keep here. Maybe Jace is here early. And we just get rid of Jace for now. But Jace with tutelage is nice, right? Kind of does extra milling. Because it's basically mill 4. Like, Ashiok is minus to mill 4. With tutelage in play, Jace is plus to mill 4. So maybe I keep Jace and actually ditch Ashiok. Or even Fibblethip as being pretty weak in this situation. This is a really interesting spot. Crow says, good point, Ashiok killing Yard matters. So, what do you think? Yeah, we are mill, so we could keep our mill and just ditch the Karn. Alright, I'll ditch Karn. Keep our mill. That's tough, though. So if we play Jace, Jace goes to 5. We can chump with Sailor. And then next turn we can Ashiok Fibblethip. Let's do that.
We could figure a way out of this. This will come in handy.
We'll see how they attack. I could see blocking Perilous Mirror if they send both. But with Perilous Mirror only going to face, I don't care about that. I like Sailor on Phoenix to give us as much Jace time as we can. Never mind.
No! This isn't over until we figure out a solution.
Yeah, this isn't over until we figure out a solution. Actually, buddy, it's over because we didn't figure out a solution. This is not good, and we're gonna lose again.
I leave you.
Now they take out Ashiok, and we somehow have to survive for the tutelage to see 6 more cards or whatever. That seems unlikely. Maybe 5 more. I guess if we draw a card draw, we can still get there. Maybe we're just dead? Yikes. We got outs, but slim. They are slim, slim, slim.
Oh, here comes the flood.
Yeah, I could have pumped Phoenix. I don't... it's... could have just won, right? I don't know. Winning seems good. But maybe I missed something there. And of course, this is just our day today. I mean... all right. I guess this is chat's final day of the year.
Your final
This is the second time we've gotten someone to 4 cards in library with Ashiok in play and then died. But Embercleave is not super beatable. Yeah, I don't know why Jim didn't. They might have been afraid of something, but they had lethal before that. I don't know. Good games, coffee. There we go. All right. Well, you've got a lot of evidence. Am I going 0 for 4 or what? You too. Good luck, have fun. All right, I'll keep. I don't know. Feeling like this deck just can't even win a game at this point. I know it has technically, but all I do is mill a little bit till I'm dead. Somebody could play a more controlling deck and give me a little bit of a chance. That would be cool. Am I supposed to cycle here? I'm gonna say no. Not unless we're under pressure to do something. Mill doesn't work with green. It can work with anything. I mean, it can be mono blue. I think calling this deck, like saying that this deck isn't working because I'm using blue is not, I mean, because I'm using green is not the problem. Well, can't do much about that. I could cycle Illumination, but I don't think they'll take Illumination, so we'll let them have the Royal. Or the Ugin if they want. But Ugin we just get back and cast eventually. I wouldn't even worry about Ugin if I were them. I'd worry about the Illumination and Royal. It needs things we don't have. It needs the job of stopping your opponent's plan. You don't have to have Wraths to do that. You can have a successful mono blue deck. I think it's wrong to talk about what colors the mill deck needs along with the blue. Again, as I always am around here, I'm in a job-oriented mindset. You need to have jobs done in your deck to support the mill, and we are too low on the job support needed. It doesn't matter what the other color is. It matters what the jobs you're doing with your cards are. Go Manipulator here. Doesn't do much. They're not attacking for a ton, though, so I like Manipulator over sending out our stuff to die. We can work towards Ugin here, and maybe they have a backup plan for us getting to Ugin mana, but right now that's our plan, March to 8. Could also hold them down for a turn on mana, take 6 instead of 4 and tap down their only black source. I mean, tapping on only black source makes some sense to me, actually. Let's do that. For 2 mana, for 2 life, I will take him off black this turn, potentially. So now, with another black source, I'm going to stop worrying about stopping the black mana flow. Going to go ahead and Jace and plus, and at least try to create a distraction with Jace here while we work towards Ugin.
You just don't know it.
Palladium Mirror is a little bit late. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, it doesn't even matter. Like, we can cast it on 7 before we play our 8th land. Like, you're just late, Mirror. Really, really late. Yeah, it's not useless, but it's not great. That's not bad.
It's a matter of giving.
That's not bad. Trouble is, we could be damned if we do, damned if we don't. We need some things that die. Like, Secret Keeper and Serpent are great because we can block without killing their stuff. And Blood Artist is gonna kill us if we let too many things die here. So let's see, 4, 5, 6, 7 total. We're gonna go. I might as well mill. Mirror. Secret Keeper. Serpent. And tap something. That's our plan. Actually gonna ditch the Keeper. Let's see, we gotta make sure I can survive an all-out. So we tap the Gifted Aetherborn, and then we lose one of our blockers. We have 2 blockers. Everything swings away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 attackers. We block and kill one of those attackers, and we take 1 from that. We take 1 from the thing that's about to die, so that puts us at virtual 7. So we're at a virtual 7 against 6 other attackers, and we're going to be okay. So I think I actually like ditching the Secret Keeper. No, then we... So this dies too. Dead. I think we're still alive. It doesn't kill anything, but it doesn't. But these 2 both survive Ugin, so I'm somewhat enamored with keeping Palladium Mirror. And well, Serpent's going to die, but Palladium Mirror, if it lives through the Ugin as well. And so that's. But if we can allow something to die and still make it, we should let the Secret Keeper die. But if not, we need to let go of the Mirror or the Stone Coil. Maybe we just let the Stone Coil go, since it is not. It needs to block. It needs to block. Both of these need to block, and Secret Keeper better on the block because it doesn't kill something extra. I don't know. The important thing is Ugin is exile, so Blood Artist doesn't trigger. Yeah, I think we're okay. I could block the Maggot, but actually if they have something else that strips... it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter. Let's block a Servo. Yeah, it just doesn't matter. Ugin, yeah, well, Ugin. Oh, we should Jace first, though. Actually, it doesn't matter. We're not going to... Let's see, what are we doing with Ugin? Ugin needs 2? Ugin just needs 2. Nice. So we can even play... yeah, Jace is fine. Jace will survive it. the 0-4 on Death Touch, it really didn't matter because we are... this is dead to the Ugin we're going to do, so it didn't matter.
The axiomatic structure of reality is surprisingly flexible. All creation can be undone.
How you play and your game.
All right. We go to 1. Actually, we just... Are we dead? I think we're just dead. They edict and we're dead, yeah. But we can tap 1 though. We tap 1 in response, and then we're not dead. There you go. That's why people were saying we're not dead. We do have that. And it might be enough. Now we can tap and royal, so we're technically not dead. Definitely a mostly situation though.
Your friend here is only mostly dead.
We can also Ugin to kill 1. Probably just royal and Ugin. And then we have manipulator for anything hasty. And we don't need additional land. Probably want to do that here, but let's go. Like that. Let's kick a royal on 1 right now. And yeah, let's Ugin the other one. And tutelage. Mind Stone or just Ashiok? Let's go Ashiok manipulator.
Terror and horror. This is
Because I had other things I wanted to do with my mana. I'm not sure my sequencing was optimal, but... Well, let's see what they do with this. I see. I see. That's all right. We have Ugin that's going to make us a 4/4 at least. Let's see. Do we need to tap? What do we want to tap? I mean, the apparition doesn't matter. I actually just want to actually tap their mana more. Well, that's potentially trouble. Let's see. No, actually, we've got. Well, we got Ugin. Ugin on this apparition gives us a blocker for the dusks. So let's start. Well, actually, let's start with a Jace draw. Or actually, we can. Yeah, we can't do this to ourselves yet, so we'll keep doing this to Oppo.
Always an answer.
5. So yeah, we go tutelage. Oh, I should have done tutelage and then draw. Yeah, that was my bad. Sorry, gang. We can still go tutelage, Ashiok, and it's still okay. I should have done that first, but it's okay. We have enough that it doesn't matter.
behold my everlasting fear.
Somehow resistant to playing tutelage that game or something. I don't know. Well, we won a game. against a more controlling deck. That was very close, though. We almost just lost to the go wideness. So, interesting deck here. Go wide, control-ish. Token, go wide, black, white. What do we do about that? Anything leap out? Anything worth bringing in our artifact hate, for example? I mean, Brain Maggot. We could get Brain Maggot, Nightmare Shepherd, Bastion, Monument. I guess there is a lot of fair number of enchantments and artifacts here. I don't know if that's enough to bring in the Vivian, though, and mess up our mana more. So, like, what? Well, but what are we doing? So, bring in black, you say. So we do have one temple, and we bring in black and get what? We get the big sweeper. Where is that? Right? Did I? Oh, maybe I cut it. Did I cut that? I know I must have done the thing during sideboarding where I accidentally cut our languish. This deck has a languish, but it's not in our sideboard, so we're not going to side into black. Yeah, let's cut Stroke again. Stroke is just continuing to be terrible. We totally drafted that card, Townick, but I think I accidentally sideboarded it out of my card pool when I exported into Arena and started mucking with things in Arena. Yeah, the 1/3 again suggests it could be, although with the number of 1/1s out there, I'd actually rather have the Night Veil Sprite as a 1/2 that attacks and does something, as opposed to a 1/3 that really doesn't do much else besides block. So I'm going to try it this way. Languish wasn't what I decided not to craft, right? Maybe it was. I thought we had but we played the format that Languish is legal, and I don't think I would have had to craft Languish. But maybe for some reason I never ended up with a Languish. Was it M19? I suppose it was M19. It's possible I just never ended up with one. All right, gang, I'm trying to slink away with one win against you all today, and you're not making it easy. We'll see what happens here. Well, we still could, Townick. Maybe if I lose this one, we'll have to just try to find one win somewhere. Man, I'm getting stiff here with my back. Old man back right now. I was thinking that when I get vaccinated and the world is reopened, that I might start doing yoga. I feel like yoga is great for old people because everything, all the muscles and joints, everything's so stiff. Truly nothing special going on tonight. There isn't for me on New Year's Eve most years, but especially this year. Hating our chances here. 1-2 curve out for Mappo with us on the draw and no 2-drop currently is not great. To the point that I'm going to cycle the Illumination because we would like to find something to do on 2 here. Save us, Fibblethip. Hey, see? That's good. We cycled and now we have something to do on 2. I'm really glad we did that. Maybe I'll go buy alcohol and drink tonight. That's what a lot of people do on this day. All right, help us, Illyrios. We need D. Fence, that is, not Dionysus. We did a arena cube draft. I don't know. I don't understand the point of drinking unless you're going to get drunk. I mean, it doesn't taste good. Interesting attack. I guess just willing to send stuff in given the Nightmare Shepherd, but we gotta try and get this Corpse Knight dead over time somehow. Well, and that's why I don't drink much, Jim. The only point is to get drunk, and why get drunk? So ugh, the taste is not great, D. That is a lie. There's no, you're telling me that the first time you had alcohol, you're like, yummy. No way. Alcohol is a thing we train ourselves to like. Not something we actually like. Trying to figure out what to do here. We can go Krasis for a 2/2 in the air, but probably just gets hanged. I guess I'll just go with the Fibblethip, even though it doesn't do much. Oh yeah, well, coffee is acquired too. If you said coffee tastes terrible, I wouldn't argue against you. Well, sure. But see, you get into the daiquiris and the dessert drinks, and then the problem is, well, you got all this alcohol in there. Like, what? Just, can you give me that drink without the alcohol? Then I'm in. I think we're done for on this one. This was too much of a curve out for us to deal with. Anything even worth, like, no, there's no, this is just done for. I was going to answer you, but now you're repeating yourself, and so I'm not. Go look it up. Google, what is Soul about? There's just nothing for us to do other than, I guess we could bring in the warrant again. Warrant wouldn't be the worst here to give us some earlier action. I feel like, again, our card draw is just too clunky. I kind of want to drop that and bring in the warrant, yeah. All right. Some ramp is not, like, getting some ramp is what this, you know, Mind Stone on 2 is what this deck needs as much as anything. All right, no one drop. We're off to the races. Probably go Enraptured next turn, even though it's not mana efficient, but we'll see what we draw. If we come up with like a counter spell and they play a creature, we could do Warrant plus counter. That's pretty good warrant target, really. But we didn't come up with a counter for it. Play that, and we could go Enraptured and trade off, and then it buys us some time. Kind of like just taking 3 and drawing 2. We can decide. Let's just end. I'm going to pass this. And yeah, I'll take 3 to draw some cards. All right, defense is up. We got Secret Keeper for the Shade and a 3/2 to trade off for the Enforcer, which I would totally do. Problem for us, for sure. Oh, where were you? Although Warrant now gets us there. If they attack with the Shepherd, we can put Warrant on top and then capture it back on the way down. So I like that. And that's all we got. Yeah, I don't think of this as a fixed... I don't think this has much to do with Soul Ring. If I think of a fixed card, like, it's got to do... Like, at least... Like, a fixed Soul Ring, at least needs to tap for 2 colorless. Ah. On the one hand, we should counter that. On the other hand, I can't. I really need to capture this Nightmare Shepherd, or we're just in such trouble. Added functionality isn't a deal breaker. I'm actually thinking we might cash in the Mind Stone here. Yeah, I'm going to do that. All right. I don't want to talk about the movie now, D. Nothing to do here, though. We're going to draw some cards and capture that Nightmare Shepherd. Playing around our counter magic, but I don't care. If it keeps the Nightmare Shepherd off the battlefield, that's fine as well. I should have drawn a card, though. We might have found another counter spell that we wanted to use. I should have drawn in response. Icy is nice, although eventually this thing's going to get hexproof, and then we can't really stop it anymore either. But now we have Essence Capture plus Icy. I could, yeah, I was gonna say I could tap down land, but we're not gonna do that. We're gonna tap down Mecha Godzilla while we can, and hope we find something to get rid of it before it becomes hexproof. Because at hexproof, I don't know what we do besides find our Hydroid Krasis and make a big creature to trade with it, assuming it has Death Touch by then. If it gets Death Touch first strike, then we're done for. Is that... Flying first strike, yeah, I can get first strike and Death Touch, so it can get to the point where we can't do anything about it. Yeah, this is the Arena Cube. But we drafted it together on a third-party website, and I'm drafted and playing against people in chat. Can't counter any of this stuff because none of it matters because Oppo has Nightmare Shepherd. Oppo is totally playing around Essence Capture, but so be it. I guess I'm not blocking with the Sailor. I might as well attack. Six, seven, 8 gives us a tap, a kicked royal, and an essence capture. It doesn't give us a sailor draw, but yeah, I guess we can royal the giant, but we can do that main phase. It's beginning of combat, so let's wait on that and do a beginning of combat, or before the beginning of combat. But good call. I was saying we need to reset. We need to deal with the mecha before it gets unstoppable. Resplendent Angel. 5 or more life. At some point, we have to take the bait and counter something. It's just frustrating, like... And now our opponent's, like, quote, stuck on 4, which appears to be perfect because they're doing nothing but casting significant action after significant action. I'm gonna let it resolve, though. I forgot to use Icy, but I want to draw off Sailor. So I was looking at 4 mana for Sailor, but probably should have just Icy'd in this situation. I don't mind this trade, though. So not all bad here. Well, around here, the cube format is available forever because you can draft offline cube anytime and bring your decks in and play, which is what we're doing now. Officially, though, probably cube's going to be available till the next set launches. I don't know. All right. This queue's ends today. I see. Okay, good to know. Now we gotta. And we're gonna put a counter on our ground creature, I guess. Although actually that's probably a mistake. Now the shade dies and can come back as a large thing. So I actually shouldn't have put a counter on the Secret Keeper. But I also think we're just dead. Like this, we don't have the tools to win this one. Maybe we'll find them with search. Like an Ugin here would be helpful. Maybe I need to play to the Ugin even. We're not literally just dead. Come on. It's the whole point, Darkstar. There's mostly dead and there's dead. And we're not dead yet. We're only mostly. We have Ugin defined. Stone Coil, probably not good enough, but Ugin does get us out of it, so we're going to look for Ugin. Ashiok gets rid of the Skyclave, but unfortunately is not Ugin. Can we still live, though? Let's see. If we get tap and 2 blocks, we're only being attacked for 3, so we're still alive.
Wonder what you feel the most. You.
Now we got a block. Ugh, is that dead? I think that's dead. I think we needed both blockers to live. We can still draw off of Azcanta and see if we find something, though. All right. Well, those of you had me on 0 for 4. You're the big winners. And no, this is not a gauntlet, so
I do my hair toss, check my nails. Baby, how you feeling?
good game, Diff. I get my seasonal rewards there. Let's see, packs. Well, it's a lot of mixed feelings here. Normally, I'd be wildly salty. Certainly, if I were not playing on stream, I would be salty anyway. But I'm not really salty because of 3 things. I'm playing against awesome viewers, so hard to be salty against my awesome viewers. And I played Mill. I hate Mill. I really loathe Mill as a strategy in Magic. I hate that it exists. I think it feels bad to lose to, and it's not what the game is about. It is this weird, you know, this rule that Richard Garfield put into the game to make sure that the game ended even if there was a board stall, right? I mean, that fundamentally, the rule that you lose if you draw with an empty library was put into the game because Garfield knew that if things got really gummed up, the game needed to end, right? So Mill was really introduced to Magic as a means to end games that got gummed up. And I'm not speaking for all Magic players. I know there are players out there who love Mill. I get it. And it is interesting to have, you want to have different ways for your game to win the game. Alternate win cons, on the other hand, are really vital to Magic. I think in general, I am a big fan of alt win cons. I love cards that say, if you do this, you win the game. And because it's a nice little puzzle, a nice build around, and I really, so Mill just has this inherent baked in feel bad that I don't like, and I know a lot of other players don't like. And if I were ever in charge of a Magic set, I would have to really talk to people and understand how important it is to the community at large to have Mill. I don't know. Maybe I'm just blind to my own opinion, but I feel like I'm not the only one who thinks that Mill is not a fun way to go. And I'm just surprised they support it as heavily as they do. Yeah, so Hat likes it. Maybe it's just me. I think it's enough me, though, that I'm surprised they support it as heavily as they do. I'm surprised that it's as good as it is when it's good. But hey, I just went 0-4 with Mill. So in a sense, that's again why I'm not super salty, because you were all the good guys. The good guys went 4-0 against the bad guy today, and so there's some real justice in that. And I guess that's a good enough reason for me to never play the Mill deck in Cube ever again. Right? There you go. Good job, chat. Way to crush the Mill deck under your boot heel. We'll catch you next time, YouTube friends. We'll see you. I mean, Texas Toast says, does Mill feel worse than aggro? It's kind of the same. It's really not at all. Not in terms of my point, Texas Toast. My point is that fundamentally, when you're introduced to Magic, you see it as a game about deploying creatures and attacking with them, right? I know that's not all there is, but at its core, Magic is a game of summoning creatures and attacking them. And so at its core, aggro is at least at its core what the game is about to me. Whereas Mill is just this sideways plan that is not about what the core gameplay is around. There's so yeah, it depends on what you're talking about. If all we're talking about if the feel bad we're talking about is strategies from your opponent that make you feel helpless, then anything can be just like Mill, because anything can be so frustrating that it's that frustrating or that helpless feeling. But like Mill makes you feel helpless in a way that you don't have answers for in your deck, whereas aggro might make you feel helpless because you don't feel like you're going to be able to beat it in time, but you do at least know you have tools to respond to it. So I don't know. On the one hand, my Johnny brain totally gets that Magic needs the sideways approaches to the game. Mill is just one that is often prevalent and often frustrating. There are sideways approaches to Magic that don't feel as frustrating to lose to as Mill, right? So I don't know. That's my take on Mill. If I were in charge of this game, I don't know what I would do about it, though, because I'm not the only Magic player. You got to serve more players besides me. So, no, that's what I was saying, Jim. I don't think alternate win cards are bad in general. I simply like them on cards that you put in your deck and build around. And then you can design them in ways that don't feel bad as bad as Mill. And the other thing is, that Mill feels bad to new players, especially. Like, a lot of decisions in Magic are correctly made based on how to get people over the hurdle of the complexity of the game, over the wall, and into the side of Magic where you're there forever. And Mill really turns off new players too. So it's a risk with bouncing people off the game also. Yeah, and that's why the language matters, Texas, right? It depends on what we're talking about what the similarities and strategies are. Because, yeah, when it comes to, if it's just about losing, well, I don't like losing ever, so I hate all things that cause me to lose. But Mill has got a special place. I do love the metaphor that is the library. Your deck in Magic is great for both representing knowledge, representing the mind, representing literal just spells, you know, my spell power. But I like what the library and deck represents, but thematically, yeah. All right, is G-Guards streaming? Maybe we'll go raid G-Guards now. Yeah, prison is worse than mill. Like, I would agree that, like, stasis is a worse thing for Magic than mill. Man, this game is really good and really popular, but I'm you know, people talk about, like, not want, you know, don't go back in time and change Magic or else you could destroy it, you know? I don't know. I take that challenge. You let me go back in time to 1994 and start working for Wizards of the Coast after Magic has already launched, and I could start introducing some of the known knowledge of what makes this game good. I think this game could be 5 times as big as it is right now if, from the get-go, Magic designers understood and internalized modern lessons of Magic design. I could just go through and kill one by one some of the most annoying cards in the history of Magic, and while it might break some hearts in the abstract, it would actually, I'm sure, make more Magic players. There are so many frustrating, dumb, unfun, just straight unfun cards that Magic has survived. And I think if you went back in time and killed those unfun cards and made fun cards instead, the game would be even more popular. Examples of unfun cards from early Magic that I would take out to improve the game's reception. Like Winter Orb, Stasis, cheap land destruction. I think land destruction at 4+ from the get-go would be good. I think there's a ton of things you could do to balance the most hateful ways to lose in the game to significantly increase Magic's early popularity. But everybody's like, oh, if you take away Winter Orb, what if Magic died? No. Winter Orb was not the linchpin to Magic's success. Any thoughts about 2020 in Magic? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Mama, should we run through all the things that tilt me? Let's run through Ryan's button presses. You can start by telling me how much you love your dark roasted coffee. All right, let's actually send you along now. I'm going to get on with my day, on with my evening. It's 12:50 p.m. here in Seattle. Must be 10 minutes away from midnight out there somewhere. Pile on the G-Guards train. We're going to raid Garrett. And I'm going to send you on your way. Happy New Year. Thanks for playing with me today, gang. Thanks for keeping me from being too tilty over going 0-4 to chat. I mean, hey, I lost to chat 8 times today, and I kept my hair. I gotta be thankful for that. But it also shows you why I'm terrified of Cube. Cube can go sideways on you and you can get that offer. Well, it's going to work out fine, Jinx. You take some time and I'll see you next year, okay? Bye, everybody.